and a doctor.
I'm your co-host, Judy Grant, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm your co-host, Dr. Sophia Grant, board-certified pediatrician and board-certified child abuse pediatrician.
All right, so Candy, I know you have a little story that you want to share about our guest.
Yes. Well, our guest, Reise Moore, she happens to work at USC. And years ago, when Haley was at USC, I think you texted me. You said, "I saw your baby shoe," and you kind of laid out what she was wearing. And I called Haley and I said, "Haley, I heard you wore a really cute outfit you were wearing," and I laid it out. She's like, "Do you have spies?"
Yes.
And I think I was in Texas at the time, but it like I always sent my kids to where I had people, people who could scoop up, stand in, and I feel like Reese was one of those people. If Haley needed something at USC, she would have scooped her up and taken care of her. But I am actually thrilled to have her because thrifting has become a huge part of my life and my kids' life. And I think Reese helped me on that path because years ago, what is it, 7 or 8 years ago, you wrote the book Thrift Style?
Yeah, Thrift Style actually came out in 2016. Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
yeah. hmm
And I started reading, and then I think you talked about a place in Palm Springs, Angel View Clearance
hmm
Center, and that's what got me hooked. That's when I got my Brooks Brothers jackets for $1 each, and just ridiculous stuff. So I want to talk to you about how you got started in thrifting and how it. And oh, I'm wearing something thrifted. Judy, you wearing something
I'm
thrifted?
wearing something thrifted.
And I know you are too, right?
Thrifted, except for the necklace here. You're all
Mm-hmm.
fully thrifted.
Uh-huh.
Even,
Okay.
what I even because people don't think about this. Even my eyeglass frames thrifted.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
hmm
Okay. So how'd you get started?
So you want to know how I got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a funny story. So I have a sister who's a collector. Now, when if you she's the one that just kind of she gets onto something and she runs with it. And so all of a sudden she was on this whole thrifting thing and I was like, that's weird. Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what to because the very first time I thrifted, it was a bust. I was like, I don't know what I got or why I got it. This is all terrible. So I didn't thrift for years. And so my sister, she's on this thing, and I show her like this new bag I got from Target, and I'm like, "Oh, it's Carlos Fauci for Target," and she's like, "Oh, that's cute," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so
It
we go
in that condescending tone that only sisters can have.
exactly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Oh, that's nice." She was trying to be supportive. Um, but yeah, and then she just kind of like, "Well, just come thrifting with me. Let's see what we find." And from
Mm-hmm.
on, I was hooked. I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
As I started finding real leather, you
Right.
know, real
Real
things,
silk. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
junk. And so I found a real Carlos Fauci, and I was like, okay, I don't think I need to continue trying to shop fast fashion and all that stuff if I can get really good quality in
Yeah.
store. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, a tip I learned from you is to always look in the handbag section.
absolutely.
Always, because I went into a Salvation Army and I bought like a real crocodile, not crocodile embossed bag for $5.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. That same bag was being sold on eBay for like $110 used. And then you also taught me to always look in the scarf section
Yep.
because you can get some really good deals. Now, what are some of like your tips and tricks?
Well, like you said, handbags always because
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing like buying like, a great leather handbag for $5,
Yeah.
you know. And then also, because I'm hugely into retro, vintage, things like that, I love to find those kind of things. So, depending on your style, you can just find anything for anything that you're looking for yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll tell you why I say scarves, because vintage scarves are awesome. You
Yeah.
want to look for scarves that are signed. You want to look for scarves that are 100% silk,
Yep.
right? And you're buying those things and they're, $2, $3, $4, but in original sale or in resale, those can go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thrifted like a Chanel scarf years ago for like $2. And it was just like, that's something that's really cool. The other tips and tricks, make sure that you go in with an idea of what you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned like how I did not like anything I thrifted the first time I ever went thrifting, and I never went back again. It was just a mosh pit of crazy. And I was like, I'm paying for convenience, right? Like I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
have dig for it and find out.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is what I find is that thrifting actually makes you get within yourself. It makes you have a moment, right? Like if you really dig in and say, who am I? How do I want to present to the world and all of that different stuff, right? You go into a thrift store and you start to find the things that jump out at you because you're developing your aesthetic. You're developing who you want to represent, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say go in with you don't have to go in with a strong sense of style. If you're still developing it, let a thrift store play with things. Go in and be,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're looking for trends, please know that these trends come and go. Like I
Right.
now we might be back into grunge or 80s or 70s. Go to the thrift store. It's all there for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oversized blazers, are a thing. Every year, pastels come back through, and they want to
Right.
reintroduce it as it's something new, right?
Yeah.
But butter yellow or whatever they're calling it this year is still yellow. You know,
Mm-hmm.
go to the
Right.
thrift find it. So I tell people, please go with an idea of what you like or what you're looking for, and it'll cut the store down to size,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Yeah.
won't get overwhelmed as much. You know.
Right.
Hmm.
So I was thinking about like my first foray into thrifting, which really wasn't that. But it was when I was a teenager on
Oh
Melrose
yeah.
Boulevard,
Yeah.
and there were all of these
Aardvark.
vintage
Mm-hmm.
stores, but they were definitely more like decade centric. Like you
Yeah.
want something from the 60s, you want something from the 50s, that sort of feeling in polka dots and moonbeams, in
Yeah.
aardvark, in my gosh, it
Buffalo
was, yeah.
Exchange. There was flips. Yeah.
And so that was my first sort of concept of buying secondhand, right?
Mm-hmm.
um but I also recognize that some of those stores, like, you walk in there, they're beautiful, but they were really expensive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, like, oh, you want an authentic something from 19 whatever, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really I didn't get into thrifting. Honestly, I'm more inclined to do it today than ever before. And maybe it's because of my sister's passion.
Hmm.
We're recording on a Sunday morning. Otherwise, she would be at an estate sale right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but and then my daughter is very much into thrifting. If it's not thrifted, she doesn't really want it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I am learning to be more open minded about what that can look like, and not stuck in that polka dots and moonbeams sort of phase.
Right. Right. I mean, I think it's too because once you really get thrifting, then you realize that those stores are sourcing from Goodwill. They're
Yes.
sourcing
Yeah.
from the View. They're sourcing from those places. And so it's kind of like you can cut out the middleman. Like I said, if you
Mm-hmm.
go in and know exactly like what you're looking for. As far as my origin story in thrifting, I want to go back to that. It was 16 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And so I was thrifting like when thrifting was a dirty word. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it
It
was
Right.
was for. It was
like
what poor people did. Yeah.
right, that was what poor people did. And somebody asked you where you got it from, you'd be like, "Oh, I got it at the thrift store," and they'd be like, "You know what I mean?"
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so those stores like, Buffalo Exchange and all that, they made it cooler because they were
Right.
sourced, they were curated and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they were, their sourcers were shopping right alongside me,
Yeah.
trying those things. So,
Yeah. And one of the reasons I love to thrift is I'm I'm a conservationist. I'm a person who will recycle. When I lived in Oklahoma, there was no curbside recycling, so I recycled in my garage and I drove it to a recycle. Like I will bring home stuff to recycle when my hotel doesn't have trash separate. It just irks me that things are just the environment is being destroyed. And this fast fashion thing, it just makes me sick because they will capitalize on a look and make it with slave labor for cheaper, and then it's out of style. And then when I went to Ghana and walked on the beach, I saw mounds of clothing that was sent from America, that and it's too dirty for people to use, and it ends up polluting these developing nations. Like it's like when you think about that and think about clothing waste, it just really makes me sick. And so that's why I have a blouse in my closet that I've had since 1991. And every time I wear it, oh my gosh, Dr. Grant, that's so cute. I want to get rid of it, but when I wear it, I get compliments. And and so I hold on to, so I will wear it until I get no compliments. But it feels good to buy stuff that is classic, that's
Mm-hmm.
stylish, that will last, that will endure. That's why I thrift. And I mean, I love to get a deal. So when I get a Brooks Brothers blazer for $1, it doesn't fit me, but it fits my sister-in-law.
hmm hmm
That's where I thrift. And I think my kids thrift from a style standpoint. And I
hmm
like to think they inherited some of my conservationism. But you thrift for different reasons. I don't like the disposable, everything being like in medicine, you wear gloves, you throw them away for hygiene practices. But you don't need to throw away a couch, throw away your clothing. The concept of throwing away clothing. And that's another thing, is because we are Jamaican. My mother always had a barrel that she was packing, sending back to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't throw things away. And that's why I thrift. Judy, why do you thrift?
I think there is a cost piece of it. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I want X, Y, and Z. But I look in the stores and I'm like, I'm not paying that price. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to pay that price.
hmm
And so sometimes it's motivated by like, I just want a quick little dress and, I don't need anything crazy fancy. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's it. But it's also maybe about finding that more unique garment
Mm-hmm.
that you can have in your closet for years and years that you're not going to find through fast fashion. One of my best purchases, and you know this because you're jealous every time I wear it, in Scotland.
Oh yeah. I'm jealous of a lot of things, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, because Reese, when we were in Scotland a few years back, we now go into thrift stores, right? We
Yeah.
we seek them out wherever we are.
And by
Um,
the way, they had great thrift stores in Scotland.
Yes, they
Oh,
did.
Hmm. Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, so many kilts. Wow. So went in and found this jacket that felt like it was made for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cut, the plaid, it was just
Yeah.
beautiful. And it's a piece that I will have for forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I think you both hit on some things, which is like the whole fast fashion and the environment. I would say over the last like I said, I've been thrifting 16 years roughly. And I would say over that time, I want to say the main thing I've seen is the amount of fast fashion in stores and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and having to navigate around that. I mean, it's a catch 22 because you want those things to potentially go home with someone and then they can use it again. At least they're not, the carbon footprint of it all. At least
Right.
those things are falling apart on the hanger in the store.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really tough. It's well, not tough. It's a little bit harder to find those things where people have invested in their clothing and have donated it and things. Um, I think that's where the world of online thrifting, matters now, right? You have online spaces like the Real World that deals in.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
have
High end stuff. Yeah.
ThredUp. You have these places where if you educate yourself about designers and what you like, or even just quality clothing and what you
Mm-hmm.
now, shop online and do that type of stuff. Because yeah, in some places you're just gonna run into a lot of fast fashion. That is unfortunately where we are now, with
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at an estate sale, like Judy meant. I love estate sales,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought a St. John suit. It didn't fit me, but it fits my cousin, and it was $20, and
Mm-hmm.
it's beautiful. And then I got a couple weekends ago a Giorgio Armani blazer for $4. So I think if you sometimes go to estate sales, you can
Mm-hmm.
find things that were higher quality. And sometimes you go into these houses and it's some old person who died, and but the person invested in really you see fur coats being sold for $50 at estate sales. So if you don't have the stomach to dig through bins or go through the racks, you can go to estate sales
Mm-hmm.
also, and I feel like you
Mm-hmm.
get really high quality stuff. You're less inclined to see fast fashion at estate sales.
Right.
Because it wasn't a thing, right? Like,
Right, right,
right. This whole
right.
phenomenon of just chasing trend cycles and having these stores turn out trends and all that different
Hmm.
stuff, cycle by cycle, and it is a whole new phenomenon.
Right.
That's why I love to hear the young folks are thrifting,
Yeah.
because I think they are also seeking quality. They are also seeking like something that feels good on the hand, which is another tip. Um, Develop your hand. Like you can also like cut a thrift store down a size where if you start to feel things and understand things, look at how it's made, how it's constructed.
Yes.
Because if you understand that, then you'll understand when you're holding something that necessarily doesn't even have a tag or is not a
Yeah.
name, but it's well made,
It's
Mm-hmm.
quality. It's
Mm-hmm.
quality.
quality.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you develop your hand and like I said, get an understanding of materials, natural materials, how things are constructed, what actually, bound buttonholes look like. Literally.
Yeah.
In my book,
Yeah.
we dissect um a men's sports coat.
Hmm.
So that we went to the costume shop at USC and had one of the professors in there cut apart this really well made suit coat that we thrifted for like $10 or something, and she hated to do it, but she cut it apart, showed the seams, showed like what you should be looking for, what it should feel like in the shoulders, like all of that stuff. I mean, I think those are the things we have lost when we're constantly dealing in polyesters and
Right.
Right.
things like that. Yeah.
Like names of fabric that you never heard. Like, I don't know what the heck viscose is.
Oh,
You know, like, what is that?
right.
Like, I don't know what that
That's
is.
excellent because I have no idea still, but I think it definitely lends a softer, right. It
Hmm.
makes everything feel softer. I'm still not
Mm-hmm.
sure on what that is. I need to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
I'm
like
used to
if you go, I'm sorry.
cotton wool and silk, like, what is viscose?
What is viscose? I need
Hmm.
somebody. and let us know that, because yeah. But I mean, when you start to, come across your cashmeres, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I have this great cashmere, like car coat. Like it's just,
Mm-hmm.
and it's to die for,
Yeah.
and when you start to feel those things, and then you go into a normal store with fast fashion and things like that, you go, okay, wait a minute, this is
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and so.
But I'm thinking about the fast fashion. I think what's attractive to so many people, especially young people, is that you can go into well, does Forever 21 still exist, or a similar store,
Mm-hmm.
and get a jacket for $16. I mean, that's a pretty good price if you're looking for a jacket. But is it going to last the test of time? Is it going to hold up? Is it quality?
Right.
But right now I'm just paying $17, so I'm good with
Yeah.
that. So
But
I think
yeah.
there's a lot of that plays into it.
But
Well,
I
yeah,
think go ahead,
they,
Marie. Marisa.
um, I think absolutely, for sure, convenience is a part of it. Also, like I said, I think to successfully thrift and get to the point where you're like, I'm a thrift person, like I can go into the store and do my big one. You have to put some time into, like I said, what you want to look like,
Right.
what you want to present as. So yeah, if you don't have a sense of how you want to dress, then you go into a store and they're going to sell you some style, right? They're going to sell
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
on the mannequin. They're gonna sell you like, oh, you saw this in the magazine. This is what you should do here, here, here. So yeah, there's convenience to that. And look, I'm not knocking that at all, like
Mm-hmm.
at all. I'm just saying that I know that, like I said, trend cycles are always going to kind of cop the style of yesteryear, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you are looking for and have the time to shop for that, 1990s flannel grunge, or I think Y2K. I think Y2K
Mm-hmm.
is right. Y2K is in the thrift stores. If you
Mm-hmm.
guys do it, go and do it at the thrift store, and you'll find that you'll start to run across better quality things
Hmm.
instead of the rehash that the
Mm.
fact.
Right.
Right, right,
Right.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, just speaking about fast fashion, I think we also need to remember that stores like Zara is fast fashion, and
Hmm.
so is H&M. That's fast. You think of Forever 21, but there's fast fashion
Yeah.
for grown people too, and
Oh,
you can
yes.
fall into that trap because the stuff looks good in the windows. It looks good hanging up, but when you open up the seams, all you see is the serger edge. You don't see the front seams anymore. You don't see any of that structure that makes things last a long time.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And
yeah.
it's to the point where I remember one year my daughter, because I thrifting, all my daughters thrift and all that different stuff, but it wasn't cool at one point, right? And
Mm-hmm.
with me, I think it was like she wanted something, and I was like, okay, I'll break down, I'll buy it, bought it, got it. It was cute enough, but when I put it in the washing machine, it was over. It was
Right. Yeah.
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, what do you do with something that you can only like? It's literally like tissue fashioned. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Put it on, and then if you can wash it and wear it again, that's great. But you don't got a lot of that, and
Right.
Yeah.
so yeah, I like I said, I don't want to yuck anybody yum, if they
Mm-hmm.
do that, but yeah, it definitely pays off in the long run to try and get into thrifting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and it's also a treasure hunt. Look, I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about how I really got addicted, which was or not addicted, but love it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so more so because I like the treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I went with my sister, started thrifting. It was like, oh my gosh, I can find really great things. And then from then on, it just became this thing where I was like, oh, I'm going to find something great today. Let me go look for it. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of
Mhm.
an adventure.
Mhm.
It's fun, you know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
my thrifting doesn't stop at my clothing. I have thrifted
Yes.
a lot of stuff in my house,
Mm-hmm.
most work. I thrifted my bedroom floor. I was in Goodwill, and they actually had a store had liquidated their hardwood floors. I bought
Well,
hardwood floors from Goodwill.
wow. Wow.
And took-
I've seen that at Habitat for Humanity, but I haven't seen that at Goodwill.
Yeah, yeah, no. Habitat too is another good place if you're looking for home goods and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. If you understand what aesthetic you're going for,
Mhm.
mid-century modern, Art Deco, whatever you're doing in your
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
you can go and find really cool pieces at thrift stores. I've refurbished cabinets and painted them,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah. Um,
mhm,
I'm glad that you're bringing up the non-clothing items
mm-hmm.
because you know, our mother is now a thrifter. Our
Yes.
our mother will, walk into a Salvation Army and pick something up. Inevitably, she finds a bowl for me. I have so
Mm-hmm.
many thrifted bowls that my mother has purchased, but a lot of these like kitchenware,
Yes.
mixing bowls, whatever it might be, plates, glasses, what have you, you can find in these stores. And
mhm,
it's fun to have like different pieces,
Yeah.
like to make the table
Eclectic.
a little
Uh-huh.
bit more
Yeah.
eclectic. But again, lamps, blankets, um, just so many things, bicycles, so many things.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the things that I have donated myself, and it's a huge range, right? So if I am putting that out and donating to a Goodwill, a Salvation Army, other people are doing the same, and you can go in. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in and like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting a ballerina lamp,
Mm-hmm.
and
mhm.
there it is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a mean vintage Pyrex collection. Like, what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I got into that, and like like I said, it's finding those things that are your treasure, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
that getting outside of the clothing of it, which is its own thing, it's I think Army calls it bric-a-brac, right? The bric
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you get in the bric-a-brac, and you can just find
Yeah.
super cool stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you are remotely into tea sets. And I'm hearing that the youngins are coming back around to that.
Yes.
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 Yes, the grandma's tea set at the thrift store. Like
I
they
Mm-hmm.
I I
are,
love China. I
yes, exactly.
loved, like, I have everyday China, I have brunch China, I have
Mm,
dress up China, and I mean, just like, I have some gorgeous pieces and I'm running out of space. And then my kids will say, "Why are you getting more?" I'm like, I just like it. It gives me pleasure. So when I die, you can sell my crap just like I bought somebody else's crap. But it's making me happy right now.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing is that you realize, like, oh shoot, like these people ain't gonna hold on to my stuff. So
Exactly.
so you better
And
enjoy. So you
yeah,
better
and
enjoy, right?
yeah, that's one thing I notice is that, like, our mother, she cherishes her china, she cherishes her hutch with everything. And when I go to estate sales, it's just on a table being sold for, oh, here's a whole set, service for eight, casserole included, for $100. And if
Mm,
you wait till the last day, you can get everything for 50,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking right now I have some dining chairs. When I got my dining table, I couldn't afford good chairs, so I got these fast fashion dining chairs. And then I was sewing, and I'm like, these things are uncomfortable. They don't have enough padding. So I donated them, and then I found some on Facebook Marketplace, and the color wasn't what I wanted, the upholstery. And I had my upholsterer guy just make slip covers for
Mm-hmm.
them. And now I have these incredible 1970s dining chairs that are still comfortable, that have been redone, and it's modern. And it makes me happy to know that I saved something from a landfill. Like
Yeah.
saving
Right.
stuff from landfill, I mean, that gives me a lot of pleasure.
I mean, too, and like if you know, you know, right? Same thing with furniture. The
Yeah.
furniture today is not as great as they used
Oh,
to be.
yeah.
You pick up
Mm-hmm.
some of these couches with one hand. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you know, we there used to be substantial pieces and things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Upholstery, getting something reupholstered, it gets expensive. So you do
Yeah.
want to make sure you're doing you really love, or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's worth
I
it.
I have a guy. He does
Oh,
great work. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do I. So do
Yeah.
I.
So I
I'm a
mean let's talk about
guy.
that. My couch that I have in the living room, it's been the only couch my kids know, right? And they're like 27, 28. And it was looking tired 10 years ago, got it reupholstered. And then I said, I'm sick of this. Let me get another couch, blah, blah, blah. And then I started looking, and a good couch, yeah, you can get a $1,500 couch, but a good couch was at least $5,000.
Right.
So I went to downtown LA, bought fabric, gorgeous fabric. That's another thing. Go downtown. And this guy reupholstered my couch for $1,500.
Oh,
And it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's brand new. And I
oh,
feel like I have my couch. It's new to me. I know it's sturdy. And so, again, you don't have to throw everything away. You can upcycle, recycle,
Yes.
do all
Yeah.
types of things.
And I have two big like accent chairs that were thrifted, I don't know, 20 years ago. And
Hmm.
I had them reupholstered the first time. I've had them reupholstered a second time. And I'm like, I'm going to have these chairs, and I just keep mixing it up with the different
Right.
fabrics.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like you mentioned with upcycling, like that's a whole nother, like that is like some of these people are doing amazing things with,
Yeah.
upcycling clothing, or
Mm-hmm.
reimagining furniture,
Right.
or such a my son, he got a sewing machine, and he will, like, take his jeans and do different things with them and stuff,
Hmm.
all thrifted, all just kind of out of his imagination, you know
Right.
Mm-hmm.
cool things with
Yeah.
what. So, and it's like, it's a low barrier to entry, because it's not like you're spending a lot of money to do
Hmm.
stuff. So you get to have fun with it, you get to be
Yeah.
creative, you know I like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing to remember is you can thrift fabric.
Oh, okay.
Because I have been at the bins, and I see, yards of fabric that somebody's donated. I've thrifted fabric. I have upcycled curtains into fabric for clothing. So you just have a good imagination. Now, Reese, what are some of your favorite places to go?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
um it has changed, right? um there's Council Thrift. I still love Council Thrift
Oh,
because, and it's funny because Council Thrift back in the day, when Goodwill and Salvation Army used to be my jam, Council Thrift was the one that was like more expensive, and I was like, ooh,
mm-hmm,
like, you know what I mean? Because it was like,
mm-hmm,
or something like that. But I now love Council Thrift more because there's less sorting
yeah,
by their staff, right?
mm-hmm, yeah,
We've seen over the years is that, and God bless them, Goodwill and Salvation Army, and have started to develop their online stores and things like that.
mm-hmm,
It goes to some of the higher end stuff, goes to their websites. But Council Thrift still kind of gives me that old school, like, it's all here,
right,
everything is uh just ready for the consumer and not having been
mm-hmm,
to different places. I still love Salvation Army. Like that's my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will go in there occasionally and, to do my thing there. But those are like my top two right now. As far as like what I really love, love, love right now, the Real Real. I told you about this, Sophia, right? Remember?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm digging the Real Real, and I'm digging it because, like I said, it's a quality thing for me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm willing to pay more, knowing that I'm getting really good quality, and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so, but still at very reasonable prices, given that it is potentially designer or
Yeah.
something like that, right? The
Yeah.
Real is like I said, it is or a site where you need to kind of go in and know what designers you like, or you know, not really. I mean, you can play around because they do allow
Mm-hmm.
on some of their items, but I do like that space because, like I said, it just gives me a really good feeling to know that I'm getting good quality, even though I might
Yeah.
be paying more than what I would at the normal
Right.
um, store.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Thread is also good too. Again, if you know what labels you like, that's also a good online space as well. Hmm.
That's THRED up.
Yeah,
Thread up. Yeah,
Thread up.
I've gotten several things from the Real Real, and I think, oh, Fashion File is another one.
Oh, I haven't
F
done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
FASHIONPHILE. I
My
got like,
daughter loves Depop too. I haven't done
oh
Depop.
yeah, the
Oh, yes.
younger
Yeah.
people love Depop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yaya has purchased and she sold things on Depop.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Same with Maya. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think increasingly what I see is that a lot of the stuff that used to be like the great gems that you will find in store is they're kind of moving over into the online space.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, if you know what you like, again, and if you know what designers you kind of lean toward or whatever, then it makes it easier to shop online. Shopping online, though, you also really need to know your measurements, right? So
There you go. I was just
Mm-hmm.
about to say
yeah,
that.
yeah, you gotta be dialed in on your measurements, like I said. So it takes a little bit more of that, hey, what do I like? What do I really want to, present as? But I think this is all great, you know what I mean? Because ultimately, when you start to dial into your style and what you like, then I think you consume less, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you're consuming less, then it all kind of plays into, lowering that carbon footprint of
Right.
you know, fashion and how it's impacting the
Mm-hmm.
environment.
Yeah.
Uh,
And this is also just thrifting in general. It's a really great adjunct to maybe what you're already doing, right? Like there's a piece in Nordstrom that you just have to have. Okay, great,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. But you can also do this. So you can kind of combine your shopping to incorporate this and maybe bring in some things that you would not have thought of, automatically.
yeah,
That high low. So, maybe you thrifted something, maybe you paid full price.
Yeah.
Let
ab-
me tell you something. When I go to work and I wear something thrifted, I always get compliments because it's usually kind of retro, kind of funky. And then people say, "Oh, Dr. Grant, you always have some cool stuff." And then what I need to stop doing is when I get a compliment, is confess the price. Because like they'll say,
But
"Oh my gosh, that's so cute." I'm like, $3.
But
that's
Three
a
hold
part of
on,
dollars.
hold on.
part of the
But
victory.
we're proud of that. We're
Yeah.
proud of that.
No,
Yes.
no, 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 no. We don't do that. You know what I mean? That's part of the whole thing. That's a part of like, oh, it looks good. I know, right? Well made too, and it was only $5. Girl, $5.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a friend who thrifts and she won't tell that people that she thrifted. Me,
Mm-hmm.
and then we talk and I'm like, she's like, Sophia, you can't tell people the price. I'm like, I'm proud of it. I'm
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to know her reasoning, but I don't agree with that. I think it's super
Hmm.
cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
I I
look,
love it.
I look like, hey, if I'm looking good and I didn't have to break the bank to do it,
Hmm.
I want to have celebrate that with folks. Like,
Right.
hey, this is
Mm-hmm.
great.
You know what? When I moved Yaya into college in DC, um, we started, and we were gonna deck because I we didn't travel with her apartment stuff. We started out in the thrift store, so
Hmm.
we okay. What do you need? You need cutlery. You need this. You need um, bric-a-brac, whatever. So we started in the thrift store, and then if we didn't go find it in the thrift store, then we would go to like Ross and Marshalls if we didn't find it there. But the department store was the last stop.
Oh,
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
by the time we went to, well, it was Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning was still around. By the time we went to, we didn't have to go to the department store.
Mhm.
But and then I was able to pick up a bread maker for Yaya at the thrift store. And she's making bread for her friends in college. And it was a $10 machine.
Mhm.
Um, I just love it. And I love the fact that my kids have been exposed to things that they wouldn't necessarily be exposed to. My son started sewing during COVID, and he started by picking up a blanket, cutting it up, and making shorts.
Yep.
Um, and now my son has his own sewing machine. Yaya, of course, has multiple. But I love that creativity of it, and I love saving money and the whole 9 yards. It just
Mm-hmm.
feels good to me.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what a lot of what I see in my kids is that a lot of them are trying to get back to that type of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're, the handicraft stuff of it all. My
Yeah.
mom could knit and crochet and do all that different stuff. But, by the time she had me, it was like, oh no, you don't do that stuff. You go to the store and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Right? A lot of that stuff didn't get passed down,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I think it is super cool to see, like you said, your son with his sewing machine, my son with
Mm-hmm.
his machine. Like, it's like, yeah, they are picking that stuff up and expressing themselves creatively, through upcycling, through
Yeah.
all of the opportunities that thrifting allows them to reimagine things.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I was going to a Harlem Renaissance party, and I bought this dress, and I was like, I don't know what to do with it. Like it fit, but it didn't. I gave it to my son. He just zoop zoop zoop. You know what I mean? Next thing I know,
Mm-hmm.
I had a cute,
Yeah.
Harlem Renaissance dress, and I was like, this is the best. Like,
Yeah. That's great.
great. I can't say enough about it. And like I said, I do think it's really interesting to see how now it's gone so mainstream, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are seeing inside of spaces. I don't know what department store I was in, but they had a not a curated thrifted section that I don't know
Yes.
what we're calling it. But yeah, a lot of these department stores will do pop-ups or things like that where they have
Mm-hmm.
clothing that gently used or whatever the
Yeah.
heck.
Mm-hmm.
It's featured in Vogue, it's featured
Mm-hmm.
your magazines now. You know what I mean? It's like now it's going really mainstream, which is really
Right.
see,
Yeah.
you're starting to see fashion houses repurpose their own clothes and then make them.
Right,
Yes.
right.
With
Mm-hmm.
yeah, using dead stock fabric.
It, it,
When Yaya had her fashion show, I wore something thrifted, and I got a compliment. And the compliment, I said, "Oh, they said they liked." I said, "This was thrifted," and of course, I quoted the price, which was $3. And then the girl did this,
Right, right,
that
right.
like clap, and I that was like the height for me to get the little clap with the fingers.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
means I'm eating. You ate that? Is that what that means?
I think it's tea.
Tea? I do not
I
know, but
it's a good
I know
thing.
that it.
Whatever
I
it
know.
is, it's a good thing.
I knew
But
that that
it
was super
is, but
cool.
you got to bob your
Yeah.
head. Hmm.
Yes. 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 I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
too funny.
Reese, can you hold up your book, please?
Oh, yes. Yes. This is Thrift Style. It came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Fully styled through with color photos and all kinds of stuff. We have sections on it, featuring jewelry, featuring handbags, speaking about cobblers, dry cleaning. So it is a really good, dense book to start your thrifting journey.
Yeah.
And all of the different aspects of, kind of building your team. You know how you said you have a man for the upholstery?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you start thrifting, you got to get a dude that does your dry
You
cleaning.
need a tailor.
You
You
might want
need,
to,
yes. Yeah.
right, you got a team together. So we talk about that in the book. We talk about building out your style. We talk about how to cut the thrift store down in size, recognize quality, and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thrift style available on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
As you should
It
be.
helped to get me started on my journey.
Oh,
And
really?
I think of
Oh,
you every time I go into Angel View.
that is
And at Palm Springs, another tip is go where there are old people.
truly.
Sadly, they die and their stuff goes to the thrift stores.
Okay,
Or
so Candy, I've never been to those bins with you, and it's still on my to-do
Yeah,
list. So
you
we
need to
need to make a
come.
date.
What
right.
were you going to say,
Or
Reese?
they die, but they some of it is they go and they retire, right? And so,
Yes. Uh-huh.
Or they downsize.
right.
Yeah.
So downsizing and all of that stuff. So what I've noticed is Goodwill and Salvo no longer has great jewelry. Another thing, jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but definitely in Palm Springs,
Yep.
Our has really great jewelry, Angel View, like you
Yeah.
said. There are still places that are still putting out really great jewelry that you can thrift. I think Goodwill now is sending a lot of their stuff that used to be in store over to the online space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
yeah, so you don't get that opportunity there, but definitely, you can get your jewelry game up in the thrift
Yeah.
store. Well,
Yeah.
and Palm
Okay.
Definitely.
is like a thrifting mecca. Like there's not you can just go all day in Palm Springs for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's and then go in really nice neighborhoods because people who donate stuff, you'll get some really good quality stuff at the thrift places in nice neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm,
True.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Or like you were saying, the estate sales and stuff. I think that I actually don't hit up a lot of estate sales. I need to try to do that more. But yeah,
You should.
uh, really, it's
Estatesales.net is an app I have on my phone.
okay.
Estatesale.net, and you type in your zip code and it will tell you the estate sales in your neighborhood, and then it will have preview pictures so you can say, oh gosh, I want this. And if you really want it, you can go on the first day. Me, I go on the last day when things are 50% off.
So
And
have you
I
stuff and been like, ooh, I want that if it's still there type
no,
thing?
because I don't tantalize myself for going beforehand. Like
Right.
I just, and I have a friend who she will go like in the last hour of the Saturday when they're come, and she's like, "You think this will be here Sunday?" And most of the time they'll say, "I'll give it to you for the Saturday price." That's her trick that she uses.
Uh-huh.
But I go on the last day, get stuff 50% off. And it's to the point now where Judy will say, like, Judy's daughter's going to be getting an apartment, and I will thrift stuff for Maxine's apartment
Mm-hmm.
coming up. So,
Yeah.
and then I like Judy collects some Christmas china, and I've picked up pieces for her to complete her set. So, yeah,
Hmm.
it's just overall, it's fun to me. It's like you said, a
And
treasure hunt.
and you know what? This there is a ripple effect of this because for Mother's Day, my kids gave me things that were purely thrifted.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like I got like two silver platters, I got a crystal bowl,
yeah,
just things that they knew that I would like, but that you know they're thinking about like not only what I would like, but also let's thrift it. We
yeah,
don't need to go out and get something brand new.
yeah.
Mommy's
Hmm.
gonna like this.
And
Right.
then another thing that I did at Christmas, we called it Merry
Thriftmas.
Thriftmas.
Breath. Ah.
I thrift things throughout the year, stuff like a typical old lady. I don't need it. It doesn't fit me, but I thrift it, I wash it, and I know it's good quality. Maybe somebody will want it. So I hung everything up, and people got to pick. Judy got a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Mommy got a few things. Everybody got something, and it made me feel good. And it was so inexpensive that if nobody wanted it, I just donated it back. But people got a lot of stuff, and it was fun.
Oh my God, you reminded me, like me and my sisters, we used to, like I said, my sister was the one that turned me on to thrifting. So she was like light years ahead of me by the time I got started. So she would had all these handbags and stuff, right? And she'd bring them at Christmas, and some kind of way we deal cards, and whoever had the bigger card number or whatever would
Uh-huh.
pick the bag, and then we turned it into a whole.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Because yeah, if we would have just put out a rack, it would have been like, wait a minute, get out the way, what, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like elbows flying. So it was like, this was the great way to kind of, make sure that we kept decorum and played the
Right.
game.
Uh-huh. I
But
love that. I
yeah, like
love that.
fun
Yeah.
stuff, that's the real fun stuff.
Yeah. It
Um,
is.
it's
I
like,
want to just share the other day, my daughter, she lives in San Francisco, and I've heard this from her many times. Oh, sweetie, what are you going to do today? Oh, we're going thrifting. It's an outing. It's a thing to do with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience. Whether or not they get anything, they're just there looking through the racks. So I
Yeah.
love the idea that thrifting, it's not like, oh, we're going to the mall. It's like we're going thrifting.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. And that's because my kids are, at one point I was like, oh my God, I think I ruined them, because they will go to the mall, and it's like, wait a minute, these jeans are $50. Like, I can't,
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's, I was like, oh no, they'll never be able to shop retail, and they don't,
Right.
and not. They just don't. It's like they can't bring themselves. This T-shirt is $20, and I'm like, babe, that's just real world prices. Like,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
incredibly. But yeah, once your kids start thrifting and they realize like the bargains and the great stuff that could be
Yeah.
found in thrift stores, a lot of them will not return to retail. A lot of
Yeah.
them they hate to do it. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
ugh, you know.
Yeah.
So,
And nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's
oh,
wrong with that.
nothing is wrong with that at all. At all.
So,
It is so interesting to watch it happen, though, for sure.
so Reese, I just want to ask again, if you can share your book,
Oh
and
yes.
how can people get a hold of you if they need some additional tips and tricks? How do people reach you?
Okay, so I would like to say that my social media game is up to 2025, but it is just not. It is.
Mm-hmm.
um I thrift style, I think we are over on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have a website, so if you want to hit me up there at thriftstyle.com. And here is the book again, Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
at Amazon, Thrift Style, and it's written with myself, and my co-authors, Allison Engel and Margaret Engel. And so, like I said, it is complete labor of love. Um, my sister is actually featured in there because we
Yeah.
feature jewelry, which she has a beautiful collection of. Yeah.
Right.
And
And then on your website, your kids are on your website too.
oh, the kids are in the book. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
did some modeling in the book. It's like a family affair, this book.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, love it.
really super cool. And it's one of those things where it was like, that moment where everything kind of came together, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
I fell in love with naturally, turned into this little gem right here, you
Yeah.
know?
No,
Right.
it's a great book. It's a great
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And, for our listeners, if you thrift something and it's a steal, reach out to us. We'll feature it.
Yes.
Uh,
Tell us
I
how much you paid for it.
tell us
Oh my
how much you paid
God.
for it. I'm right now thinking of my camel coat that I paid $2 for. But
Girl, I
yeah,
have full
we
camo.
are available at Two Soka Podcast on Instagram. The email is twosokapodcast@gmail.com and on YouTube at Two Soka.
Thank you so much for joining us again with Tusoka. It's always a pleasure to have our guests. Reise, thank you so much. And then to you, to our audience, we just really appreciate you tuning in and hearing from us. So until next time, thank you. Everybody
Bye.
take care.